Buenos días.
¿Qué haces? Buenos días. ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien, todo bien. Fantástico.
Fantástico.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good?
Yeah. Yeah, summertime here is very nice.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. I forget you the other hemisphere.
Yeah, now yes.
Now, yes.
So I went through the file you sent me, more or less, and I take notes.
You take no. This is not you, Mario. Who is the real Mario?
This is the real
This
Mario.
is the real Mario. Somebody serious? No, I knew. Of course you're serious. I know you're serious.
Believe it or not.
Oh well. No, everybody changes nowadays. I know. Vale, ready?
Always.
Then 5, 6, 7, 8. Welcome to Along the Life of Dance with your host, Anthony B. Today I am with tango expert from Buenos Aires, Mario de Camilis. Together we talked about traveling, philosophy of life, and what it takes to develop your passion. Between the two of us, you are about to be served with an amazing cocktail of accent. So sit back, relax, enjoy our show, and thank you once again for listening to Along the Life of Dance. Mario, how are you today?
Wonderful, my friend. Very happy to be here. Thank you for asking me.
It's always a pleasure, Mario. You know, every time I can have 5 minutes with you, I take it.
Thank you.
Anywhere in the world. Right, okay, so for those who don't know you yet, and there will be even less after this podcast, would you be able to introduce quickly yourself, present yourself? So name and what you do for living or for dancing.
Okay, well, my name is Mario de Camilis. I am an Argentinian tango dancer, and I am traveling the world teaching and making shows.
Excellent. And how long have you been doing tango?
So far, I think 19 years. Yeah, non-stop.
Non-stop. And you've always been dancing tango, or you've done other dances before?
I start with tango and I attach to it.
Okay.
I love dancing like crazy, but that's like just free dancing.
That's just free dancing. That's enough. How did you come across it? Were your parents dancing tango, or you just found a friend?
It was it's interesting. I finished the high school. I have to go to the university, but I didn't like any career at that moment. So I spent 1 week of couch thing at home. That was the worst thing ever. So after that, I said, okay, I'm going to sign in at university, but in the meantime, I'm going to search something that really make my heart beat. Mm-hmm. This maybe sounds cheesy, but that was exactly the hypothesis. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And then I signed in for philosophy, history first, then philosophy and psychology at the university. I start learning, and in the meantime, I keep searching around my city. No, I am from Buenos Aires, the capital city, so I was like looking around. And at that moment, in my family, no dancing, not many artistic side, more than my mother singing all the time. So I was searching, and then I was helping a friend who was working on his home. And then one day he said, hey, I have to take a tango lesson. Would you like to join me? And I said, yeah, why not? I mean, tango. Okay, let's see. And as I said before, I always loved dancing like crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to the University of Psychology in the area of extracurricular. So they were offering some courses, and this was December 2001, which was a very particular year for Argentina. We had a very big crisis at the time.
Okay.
So the context was very interesting. It was a big crisis all over the country. This say that from the crisis emerged the opportunities, which is very related to the situation we have today. But anyway.
It's every 20 years, yeah?
Yeah, it seems. So I took that lesson. The teacher were organizing a kind of show, so she didn't really was able to teach me. And then this girl catch me and said, I will explain you. And then she explained me some step. If you put your weight here, then this side is free, you know that, right? If you put this way there, the other side is free. And if you do this, then I will move. And I was like, wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this is like, so if I do this, you do that. And I was like, I can't believe it. I was like, it was a supernova, but in the way of reborn, kind of.
Okay. You finally found the meaning.
Yeah, it was. It was super intense. That was a love for the dance, but then I started clicking in other areas because before that, like let's say 2 years before that, I want to make surf,
Okay.
right? Being a surfer, and yeah, we don't have the ocean here, so it's like 500 kilometers away, right?
Mhm.
I didn't have money to go there, so I just went there 2 times when my parents organized the holidays. And it was impossible because I only have 30 days, right? Every time.
Yeah.
And every time I try, I was very near to, how do you say, to draw in the water.
To drown.
To drown. Yeah, thank you. So imagine that, right? It was super frustrating. So the second time I arrived here, I said, this is not for me. I'm not living near the ocean. I don't have money to support it. So I sell everything. And I was like very pissed at that moment. And I was like, the thing, the sentence was like, it's a pity that I'm not living near the ocean. Then I can go on my own and it's way more independent, right? And it will manage on my way. So that was the thing. So later on, when I found tango, and then I realized that my apartment, my house, in my family house in Buenos Aires, is like 800 block from the Milongas. Then I link straight forward with that feeling like, Jesus, this is amazing. Now it's like I have the beach 8 blocks from my house. I can go there all the time and dancing. And then this start to even increase the craziness about it.
Yeah, and you don't need the ocean this time.
Exactly. I was like, the analogy was that, right? The ocean were the Milonga. So I can go there and
surf tango all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you went with your friend, lady friend or
no, male friend.
male friend? So you need the part. You need, the English people say it takes two to tango. When did you find your partner?
You mean to fix that partner? That was way long ago. Well, after I start, because at that moment I started taking lessons like crazy and going dancing everywhere.
And so you were okay to go on your own and find a partner there and dance with that?
Yeah, totally. Eventually, maybe with some girls who were we were sharing classes, and we meet to train a bit, but super amateur. But with all this passion, right? To just try to get better and better and better.
Okay. The point I'm trying to say is for people coming from, say, ballroom or Latin, a lot of the time they come as couple and they're already more or less paired. Either they're a couple in real life or they're already friends together and say, let's go together. The tango mentality, or let's say habit in Argentina at least, it's not so much like this. You come in and it's a bit more open then.
Yeah, that's part of how the dance works. Because you go, this means it's something that is social in the way that is alive, right? Yeah. Not social only in the way that you go to a place and you do it with other people. No, it's a really social interaction that happens when you dance. So this means that you go to a place when the people are just social dancing, and then you make the famous cabeceo, or nowadays perhaps you can ask, depend the context. No, you need to read that. But in any case, you ask strange people, and then you go and dance and develop what you know. Or in the lessons, you can go by yourself, and it might be followers that they do the same, or leaders, depending on your role, and then you start dancing with different people all the time.
Okay.
Which make it very interesting, because you have to adapt, right? If you see it in that way, right? You have to adapt all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess you can really develop a very nice level without having a fixed partner. Of course, then it's like a normal, how do you say in English? It's like it will be a normal develop also that you end up dancing with someone longer than with other people, because you meet the same person in the lesson. The social thing also make it in that way.
I tend to compare it like medicine. You can keep a generalist, and then you're good at everything, or suddenly you can become a specialist, and then you know everything about the eye, the skin, the stomach, whatever. Yes. But I think tango and that sort of mentality keeps you as a generalist expert for dancing, because you have to always adapt and you learn from a lot of different sources.
Yes, in the learning, yes, totally. But then when you want to become a professional, then change.
Like everything. Thank you for throwing me that lovely link. When did you become professional then? So you started in 2001, and when did you move to professional? You're thinking, okay, this is amazing. I've got this new world in front of me. I start to understand it, I grasp it, and I think I know enough so I can share that passion with other people. When did that happen?
Okay, it didn't happen exactly in that way, but
Okay.
because it's still almost 20 years, I don't think I know enough. I keep learning. But let's go to the transition. Well, the passion thing was like from the beginning, from this moment when this lady, when I'm still in touch with her. I know sometimes we meet, or we used to meet in the Milongas. It was very funny. With the first girl who showed me some movement. So in the beginning, the passion was like everything. And then I was taking lessons, going everywhere, learning. And then because of this passion, then my teachers, they asked me if I want to help in other lessons. Because most of the time you have more leaders than followers. Oh, sorry, more followers than leaders, right?
Yeah.
So they realized that I was super crazy about learning, and then it would be good for me and good for them. So I didn't have to pay, and then I start to help. In one moment, after 1 year of doing this, so let's say like December, I guess, 2002, my teacher needs some assistance in a very big beginner lesson. So then I was like somehow helping there. And then this beginner lesson became very small, so it was not really necessary for me to be there, but I keep going because it was nice to be and I keep learning there. And then in a moment I had to think, because then it became an obligation to go there. So I have to go there every Sunday, right? So, and then maybe I was dancing all the time, maybe something I didn't want to go. So this pushed the question that, okay, now I have the commit to go, and this feels more like a job. So that was the moment when I sit down and I said, okay, I can cancel this and then just keep it short, let's say, like I'm not going to do things I don't want. Or now I go more into learning how to teach. I mean, after 1 year of dancing, right? You still have to learn a lot. But then I realized that this door was open in the way that I could be able to also to start to understand how to teach.
Okay.
So I guess that was the moment. That was a moment when I decided, all right, I'm going to also be 100% with this.
How long did you have to sit and think about it? 1 day, 1 week, like your couch again?
No.
No.
Since months before that, I was at the university learning. We were studying, it was a class of, how do you say, medieval philosophy. We were doing Tomás de Aquino. So if you're familiar with that, that's like super deep and very, very complex to understand, and everything have many twists. And I just want to go dancing.
Okay.
So I was in the lesson, many people, and then I realized I want to dance. And it was so strong, the feeling. I just want to get up and go dancing. So in the middle of the lecture, I said, Mario, you have to go away from here. You have to go dancing. Yes, boom.
Get the hell out of here.
I get all my things, put it in my bag. I get up, I cross, like this is like the cinema thing when you are in the middle of the row, you have to move. Well,
you have to push everybody.
Yeah, I was more or less like this. And then I went to the near the teacher, because the way I was there, I look at the teacher and I said, thank you so much. The teacher looked at me in a funny way, like, okay. And then so at that moment I decided I will be dancing all the time. That was 6 months before I realized I was doing one of the things that means to start teaching, right? And working with something, choosing a career. So that was the first thing. 6 months after that, I sit down for, it was not really long time, like maybe half an hour.
The click of your life.
I said, no, I like, I remember I was thinking now that, like, okay, I like to do this. Yes, I really like. I love it. It's my passion. It's going to be a moment when maybe I don't like because I choose it as a job. So if I'm going to crash with this bad feeling, I prefer to crash from time to time with my passion.
We crash happy than survive unhappy.
Yeah, than doing something that you don't like it.
Every time I speak to teachers, we always saying we still do it because we love it. It is never simple.
Totally.
Especially nowadays, it's just beyond anything else, and that feeling doesn't get very common with anything else, really.
I guess so. I mean, if you are independent, then you get this feeling.
Okay, so beginning of the millennial, you start this new dance. You discover this new dance. 6 months later you have such an urge and such a niche for dancing that you think, school, thank you very much, but adios. 6 months after that, you thinking, okay, now the route for teaching is there. I'm going to take it and I'm going to work hard for it. I imagine you went training then, and then you start doing some competition.
Not at that time. The competition came way after that. At that moment, I was participating in groups, like how can we say this, in an independent group that were creating performance.
Like troops or.
Yeah, that we were. I were in Tango Protesta, which is a group, or it was a group who mixed tango with social subject.
Okay.
So it was like we could say it was a mix of political thing, right? The political subject. So we were like in that way. I realized that tango have a side that is very cliché, and then this group was breaking that, and I found that very, very interesting and motivating. Very, very commit, so and really full of life. So it was something new at that time. So I participated with them. Also, my teacher were there, and that was for 2002, slowly, right, until 2007 or 8, I think.
Okay.
It was a different setup in the group, but that was my participation on it. And then I was starting to organize a milonga, which is a milonga is a place where you go and develop your dance, basically. It's like how do you say that? Dance ball. That's how you say it.
Yeah, a ballroom or a dance practice. Yeah.
So it's when the dance really happens, actually. You learn, and then if you want to dance, the social dance happen in a place called Milonga.
It's your match, yeah? You went practicing, and you go and play for the match.
Kind of, yeah. But there is no competition or anything. You just do it for fun. So I was organizing one. So I started that was another change because I started to organize. So I was learning to dance, to teach, and then I was also learning how to organize a tango night, right? And then because of that, I really like it. Then I started to participate in the organization of a tango festival.
Okay.
An international one, Cambalache, still goes. It's very, very nice too. So I was more or less previous the competition.
Right. So then you went international competition, just the Buenos Aires one?
I participated in 2009 in the Buenos Aires competition, which was not international. It was for Buenos Aires.
Okay.
Then I won that one, and then and before that one, I participated in the World Championship.
Okay.
Yeah, in the two categories. Yeah, and I end up top 10, we could say.
Well done.
That was nice.
So 2009, we're getting closer to, I know we met in 2012, I think. It was in Latvia. So when did you start teaching internationally then? As soon as, once you got your metropolitan title?
No, I did before. Because I realized of all this, I think, is to be a professional, what do I like, right? What I want for me. So I always push myself to look and to take decisions, and then to make some actions to get it right. So at that moment, I was realized that I wanted to travel, that I want to mix tango with theater, that I also like tango traditional a lot, but not only. So I realized that I am this complex thing into tango, that for me click like that. So okay, that's how I am. Let's see how can we develop this. The competition became part of it. The performance mixing with theater became also part of it. So because of that, I make a casting for a tango play here in Buenos Aires, and I got a part on it. And when I got a part on it, they say they already have a tour organized.
Okay.
But they didn't want to say it because they didn't want the people just do it because of that. So, which was a big surprise for me, and this was in 2010. So with this play, I did the first tour. It was not teaching; it was just performing. And we were in Switzerland and in Germany, many cities. It was very, very nice, very interesting. And then after that, I spent some time there. And then I taught for first time internationally, I think in Berlin.
How did that feel?
Super cool. I mean, it was like very, very exciting. So I was like, it was another universe. And when you first time you go to Europe, it's like, wow. They're crazy. Now many things change. Oh, that was like that. Maybe it's another kind of conversation, but it was like very nice. It was very nice. It really gives more value to Buenos Aires. I really appreciate my city way more than before after knowing
Right.
Europe, and see Europe with different eyes and more. I think more realistic and less. How do you say? Less fantasy.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the first time I teach internationally, and then I organized the tour. And then in 2010, I already have a fixed dance partner. No, what you asked me for. In 2000, then the same in October, I guess 2010, I make a tour through Switzerland and Germany for teaching and performing, maybe more. And that was before I win the competition.
I would like to speak to you now about what's happening around the world and in both of our hemispheres, because the fantasy of Argentina in Europe has been shattered by some small particle in the air, apparently.
It's
For the listeners, we are recording this interview on the 18th of January 2021. You used to travel a lot. Germany, you said, Argentina, Switzerland. I've met you in Latvia. I remember you also used to teach in South Africa.
Yes.
What's the craziest place you've taught to you? Like the most exotic place?
Okay. French Guiana.
French Guiana, yeah. Next to the rocket.
Next to the rocket, yeah, exactly. It's crazy because it's in South America.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they speak French. And they have the euro. And for me, it was crazy to go to make a European tour and end up in South America. Was like very strange,
But that's a bit of trivia for you. I know the biggest border France has with a country, a land border, is with Brazil, because we have 600 kilometers of border with Brazil. Thanks to
that.
We are Latinos as well, as much as you are. So you've been traveling pretty much around the world.
Yeah.
Where at the moment you are in Buenos Aires, I take it?
I am in Buenos Aires. Yes.
Did you have to come back? Did the government sort of call you back, or you felt like it was a decision that you should have done because...
No. It's the best place to pass this situation.
Okay, I'll start with the government. Do you have a lockdown like we do have in Europe, or are they quite strict about it, or you feel they're quite flexible?
Well, at the moment, here is more or less coming the second wave that you have there already. And the rule says that, in the capital city, it depends the area where you are. But in the capital city, you have to wear the mask outside all the time. Not everybody does, but that's the rule. And not everybody does in the same way, in the right way, right? They don't cover their nose. But that's the thing. And then all the shops are open, and the bars and everything is open. Just contact activities, they are not open, like dancing. But for example, you can go to the gym and train.
Okay,
that's
you can still do that. Is my thought for Argentina, because of course tango, it's something a bit bigger. I mean, it's almost close to football, I would imagine, maybe in terms of culture.
Unfortunately, not really, my friend.
No?
Okay. That's how it looks outside, but here it's not like all the Argentinians.
That's our fantasy vision of us, yeah?
Yeah, totally. No, not all Argentinians dance tango as we play football. I don't play football anymore, but just to make the point. No, it's not that, but you can't compare it that way. Football is way bigger.
Okay, but so my point I was trying to make is tango is still maybe not as popular as football, but still quite strong element. When people have to be told that, okay, we're not going to be able to dance or at least make contact with a stranger or even with your partner, how did that news come around?
Well, both cases. You have people that are taking care and people that are still dancing.
Right.
I don't think it's something that should be done.
And do you think they're doing this because out of desperation? Do they get help from the government saying, I know some people saying it's illegal, and then you're going to have the counter arguments that if we take care and if we look after it, it's not that crazy. And I still need to make a living, and I still need to pay my house or look after my children. And that's my way of living. So some people do it not because it's illegal, because they want to be rebels. Some must do it because they have no other choice.
The help here was very small. So basically the community is organizing helping by ourselves, let's say.
Right.
Like we get groups and then we help, but it's a very low impact. It's a big crisis. So it's a very big thing, and
2001 again?
I think it's worse.
Right.
Yeah, it's worse. It's worse because your creativity has to be pushed forward in a level that's way higher than in 2001. So it's the variables are way more complicated, and everything is close near you in different meanings, not only physically, right? Also to develop your creativity, you're very
Restricted.
Thank you. I think no, it's way more difficult than that time. Anyway, so I think people does for different reasons. I mean, many people were without seeing anybody in a long time, and the people who love dancing know how important it is to embrace someone, right? To be in physical contact. I mean, that's what we do all the time, and it's very difficult from one day to the other not do it anymore. So it could push depress and things like this. So I understand why they want to do it. But that is one thing which is a bit far away from organizing an illegal milonga. I mean, maybe you can meet to one person and just go dance. I don't know. I'm not saying that people should do that, but I'm saying that's also a possibility, which is a few steps before a social thing with all the risk. The people who do dance, I don't think they live from it. Like they get money from these activities.
Right.
So I don't think that's the main reason. There are some lessons that start to happen, and I'm not sure about how legal they are, but I understand that they are a permit. I think you can do things without contact outside. So they are organizing, and this is totally legal. So they are organizing like technique lessons in parks and things like this. And that, for example, I see it's okay. But other people they take it a bit too much, and then I hear they say no, we got it, and everybody else got it. It's like, all right, I don't want to get it. Yeah, it's not good, man.
Okay, nice. And so you managed to travel at least, but did you manage to also teach during this time, or you were just traveling to see people, or you were traveling to sort paperwork, or?
Yeah, I taught in Switzerland, very small, a few private lessons, things like this, and also a workshop in Arau, also in Switzerland. So I taught, and then in Sardinia as well. I met Mariana Montes, which is one of the best dancers and teachers in the world, and we were teaching together a little bit, and also I was sharing with her some practice, which for me is amazing because she's.
You're a fan?
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of her. So I was teaching, and I did a performance.
Is it online?
I think it's online. Yeah, it's my last performance actually. So yes, I managed to travel and to teach.
Was it enough financially because of the cost? Less people were allowed to travel, so the prices went up. Did you still manage to get by financially, or was it not enough and you just kept going because maybe you had commitments? I don't know.
Okay. Well, no. In Switzerland it works, luckily, and in Italy as well. But the situation is completely different. Also, maybe this is something more personal, but I was working on my Italian citizenship.
Okay.
So I have all the interests about going to Europe.
Right.
So it was like a mix of things, right? So allora io sono Mario, anche argentino, anche italiano.
Okay. Va bene.
Yeah.
And during all this traveling time and its thinking process and administration process also, as you just mentioned, did you have time to rediscover about, I'll call it your business? You said tango, it's different parts. You had the performance, you had the teaching, you had the dancing. So maybe on the business side now of your tango, did you manage to rediscover something that you forgot?
Well, the jump to the virtual teaching for me is not that easy.
It's not like teaching.
No. I love to teach, but I like so much. I was a bit hesitating to teach virtually. But I realized of this way before this situation hit us. But I didn't develop also, unfortunately. If I were having developed at that time now, the history would be another one. But anyway, Yeah, I realized that about me. So it's like I have a lot of I limit myself a bit to make that cross, and now I'm working on that.
You feel like you have to make that jump now. What sort of steps did you feel like could help you for this?
Well, I prepare my living room just to teach there.
Okay.
So that's basically something I'm doing. And then I understand that this new virtual thing, in my opinion, is going to stay. It's not going, doesn't matter what's going to happen. This is going to be like this. And then I'm working on social media.
Which one did you find social media works the best for you?
Well, so far, Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
But I think the best one is YouTube. What
Wow.
do you think?
What do I think? I think TikTok or Instagram Reel, I think now.
Okay.
I think we're not dancers. We still want to take time. When we do a private lesson, it's always usually an hour. We talk in hours blocks, where TikTok talks in seconds. And I think it's challenging for your own technique method. How do you explain an ocho in 90 seconds? Bosh.
That remind me how do you say, a quote from Einstein that he said, I have to explain the relativity theory to my wife or something, and then she didn't understand and explain again and again and again, and then when finally she understood, it wasn't it.
It wasn't the theory.
So I guess we need to be careful with this, right? We can I will explain the ocho in 30 seconds, but then won't be the ocho.
It's like you said, we've been pushed into it. It could be sad. It could be exciting.
Apart from the quote I use, but in any case, I agree with you. This is something that we need to analyze. We need to give the time. We need to find a way. Unless I don't know, maybe we do it in 30 seconds or maybe in a minute. But we have to dig in that totally.
Okay, Mario. We've been talking about how you started tango, how you discovered tango, how much you love tango, but we haven't really talked about what is tango.
Oh.
So maybe for those who don't know yet or heard of it, would you be able to explain briefly? I know for you it could take years, but how do you explain maybe tango, where it comes from, and if there is different forms of tango, what are they called, and the variation, the main difference between the tangos? We don't need to go into too much details, but just for people to understand the main idea between them, please.
Okay, I will do my best.
I'm sure you will.
Tango, as everybody might know at this point, is a social dance, and it was developed in the Rio de la Plata, Silver River, which is an area between Argentina and Uruguay, a country just next to it. And in these two ports, they were receiving people from all over the world. We are talking about 1890, something like this. So it really come from the mix of all these cultures, right? So there's a lot of develop in terms of music, paint, poetry, and dance, which is what I am doing most. And so it's a cultural movement. It's way more than a dance. It's something you can live tango without dancing or without playing music. It's very attached to the way of living we have here, and that's kind of complex to explain, but it's in terms of poetic. So it's a very deep dance. It has a lot of improvisation, but in the same time, because it's popular, it's super near. So you don't really need to learn a lot to just do it.
Okay.
So that's something that, of course, when you start learning, you get super crazy. You want to know everything, but and then you frustrate and blah blah blah. But the thing is, if you take it easy as a hobby, you could enjoy it and a lot everywhere, and just go there and make what you know, and with a bit of connection, then it's you have everything.
A bit like chess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
The rules are fairly simple to understand individually. Then when you try to put it all together, that becomes an art in itself.
So it's a couple dance, and the thing is, I guess what I found different with other dances is that you have this code of movement, the leading and following, but then it's very improvised, and your lead can change in relation with the follow you get, right? The answer you get. So it's like this communication graphic, no? When you say something, the other one take that and reply, and then with that you say something more or something different, So it's like what I like is full of life. It's happening at the moment. So if both have are open, then it's a really it's a dance that's it's really happening in the moment. So that's amazing. And then you can do it almost everywhere. So wherever you go, you're going to find a tango community, most likely. I mean, not everywhere in the world, but pretty much. Yeah, and then you have the hug, the embrace. The thing with the embracing tango is that it's not fixed. So you can have different kind of, right? When you're a professional, maybe you try in some type of, but when you go on social dancing, you're totally free. And this is really, really nice because embrace is the most basic thing we have as a human being, right? As soon as we're born, our mother.
A bit dangerous apparently nowadays, but yeah.
Yeah, nowadays it can be quite complicated. That was a virtual thing. It's not easy to change. But yeah, this feeling of the contact. Then in terms of different type of dancing, you have the salon or social, which is what I'm teaching and what I do most, which is means everything you can do in a dance floor. So there are many complex figures that are very small. You don't take so much space, so you are able to do it more or less with other people dancing around you. And then when you want to take that as a perform, then you can do a bit bigger movements. But this idea of taking the movement that are happening in the social dance, this is one branch of tango, no? And then you have another one which is more acrobatic. So this one get movements that you will not do in a social dance. Even though the social dance also can have, there is a small place when they mix a little bit. You can have small acrobatic things in the social way of dancing and a small movement in the stage tango dance. But then the stage tango dance will have the tendency to become more acrobatic, and the social professional tango dance will have the tendency to go more to the floor. No, this is like are the limits, the poles, we could say. One is 100% show with acrobatic things, quite complex and physically challenging, demanding. And the other one is also demanding, but from a completely different aspect. This is the biggest one. And then into the social dance, you can have more traditional, which is very to the floor, and more with close embrace, or one that was quite trendy in 2004 till 2006, or maybe 2007, which was called, or is called Tango Nuevo. But then they mix quite a lot. The people who was developing that, in a moment they kind of regret or something, and then they want to come back to the truth, to the root of dancing. But the thing is, it's in my opinion, it's all the same. You can mix them while you are doing social dance, and it's part of the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. And so the other dances like tango valso and milonga.
Yeah. I didn't talk about that. Yeah.
Do you consider them tango, or do you consider them different dances?
No, very good question. No, they are absolutely tango, because what we use is the code of movement that we have in tango, but we adapt a bit because the rhythm is different. Tango as music and as a dance have tango itself, the way to call the whole dances, and then this tango thing have other two, which are milonga and vals. And vals is this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? But we use the same. We don't do like a Val Viennese thing where we are turning in that way. We don't use that pattern. We still improvise, but just under that beat. And then we have milonga, which is 2x4, and that's a really have the tendency to be way faster. So then the way of dancing have to change because everything happened way more fast. So your connection have to be more fine in way to keep dancing, right? And don't lose the beat. So they're all tango, that's we call it tango vals and tango milonga. That's actually the way to call it, and tango. See, but everybody start with tango, and then after they start to do the same movements in the beginning, with the other rhythms, and then there are some movements that are more in relation with the other rhythms, and basically the flow is way different. That's what makes different.
So 20 years into tango world, if nowadays people still start with tango and then still go to either milonga or vals, or now they maybe you see people starting from milonga and then they merge into tango?
No, everybody start with tango. So what you get is tango lessons. So tango everywhere, and then, for example, you go to a course like once a week or twice a week, maybe, I don't know. And then the teacher is going to teach in 6 months. I don't know, 3 months or 4 months or 5 months are going to be tango, and then a few lessons of vals and a few lessons of milonga. But everything is going to be more in relation with tango. Most of the time, what happens is if you want one of the other rhythm, you have to go to particular teachers, which I love milonga and I love vals. I love the three of them, but I like to develop milonga a lot. And for example, so I teach milonga, something that I like a lot. So somehow someone could ask me particularly for that, So you have to search for it. And in the beginning, when I was also learning, I remember after 1 year of doing tango, then I searched for a milonga teacher. Of course, was an amazing tango dancer, but he was known as milonga dancer, Omar Vega. So I learned with him. And then a few years after, I already knew a few about vals, but then I searched for another teacher to taught me things, particularly of the flow of vals, and that was Julio Balmaceda. And then with him also, I perfectionist. I got better into it.
Effective, polished.
Yeah, make it shine.
Make it shine, yeah, like your shoes. So just to give us an example, if you could maybe, if you take your specialist in milonga that you went and tried to dance with, so say you have your tango core, you have your tango base, and then you want to develop your milonga aspect to it. Is he bringing something from the outside, or are you just trying to expand the inside, if that makes sense?
Well, if I have to choose, it will be expand the inside.
Okay.
Because basically, let's say you make one step forward and then one step to the side, right? In tango. Well, in milonga, you will do exactly the same, but faster.
Right.
And because it's faster, you might not do some movement. So then you start to choose. And what it does is to push you to connect more. That's a difference. So it's not a different dance. It's the same, but just the rhythm is different. And because the rhythm is different, it pushes you to change some things. But it's not like that you get something completely different. After when you make it shine, right? Then you get a way different feeling. But you are always dancing the same dance. It's not that different feeling like if you're dancing tango and then you dance salsa. It's not something like that. You don't have the feeling that you are going to do something completely like another movie. You are all the time in the same movie, and it's just another part of it.
Okay, just a different chapter.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can feel more. Then your tools are more sharp. So because it put you in, it's a challenge, and then you get when you get the same level of connection in the three rhythms, that's like super cool.
Okay, nice. Let's pretend you start in tango now. You have no dancing background. You find a way to dance safely and legally with a teacher that can focus on your skills and teach you up. How long do you advise of people to stick to tango for at least that block before considering the other dances?
Milonga and vals, you mean?
Yeah, before going to milonga or vals, if you go on a weekly basis. 1
lesson per week?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if this case is like someone that just take 1 lesson per week and never dance, just 1 lesson per week, that's going to take quite a lot of time.
Okay. So when you started your first year, you said you loved it. Yeah. How often were you dancing? Every night? Every lesson? Every day?
It was more or less like this. I took the first lesson in December. So February, my friend said, "Hey, look, there is another place." And then I realized this place was near my house, right? So I went there on a Sunday. So then I went there on next week, on a Wednesday. So I started doing Wednesday and Sunday, so 2 times a week. Then I realized there they also teach rock and roll. So I wanted to learn more rock and roll. So I searched for the teacher of the teachers. And then it was also in a university. So I signed in. I still was learning philosophy at that time. So I signed in there. And then rock and roll was not possible because it was at the same time I have to go to the university in that building. So I saw the tango also lesson there. So I was going in the university on Wednesday from 5 to 7. Then after that, I take the bus and I went to the milonga from, let's say, 8 till 3 a.m. And then on Sunday, I was going also to the milonga where they teach before the milonga. Before the social dance, there is a lesson or maybe 2. So I was there from 7, I think, also until 3 a.m. And then the teacher started to invite me to other lessons. So let's say in March, I started doing Wednesday from, let's say, 5 to 3 a.m., Thursday, 2 hours, and Sunday. In April, they invited me to another lesson. So then I was doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And then April, May, June, then they invite me to another lesson. So the thing is, at the 6 months of start with tango, I was dancing every day. The only day I had to sleep was on Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday night I
Yeah.
was sleeping. Then the rest of the day I was dancing.
So I understand what you're saying when suddenly it has to become a commitment. You have to make a decision because you're already on a full-time job there.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't realize. At that moment, it was completely natural for me. It was like, oh, why not go dancing? And then I was spending like 3-4 hours every day, or even more, if I stay in the dance. That's why I guess they they saw me. I was like super crazy. Who's this guy? He just shows up and then he's like everywhere.
He lives here now.
Yeah, he came with a bag. And so I guess now as a teacher, I understand, and I really got super crazy. I don't see that so often.
So often, does it mean that you find your? Did you find your Mario?
No, but because the thing is, to find something like this, you have to be in the same place, and I'm moving all the time. So that's like a
oddball.
That's quite complicated. I'm moving all the time, so I can't see people regular. But to have a regular student, you have to be in the same place.
Okay.
Right. Maybe now with the virtual thing, it changed the game, but
we can all be in the same place, apart.
Yeah, that's also true. A bit sad, but true. Yeah, now maybe with this or virtuality, it can happen, but at the moment, no. I have students that I teach over the years, but not all the time because I'm moving a lot.
Right. Okay. And right. So to finish this topic of dancing, sadly, I could speak hours with you, Mario. It's always a pleasure.
My friend,
we both have, I think, deep inside, we both have a bit of Italian blood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was born on the other side of the border, and you became one officially, but clearly we have that part of us living, boiling on the edge. So I need to finish up eventually.
Okay.
But so yeah, as a lifestyle point of view, you said tango. It's not just a dance; it's a lifestyle, really.
It can be.
It can be. I guess you took a good part of it, and your dance training. What I'm interested in is, what do you think that you gained from learning from dancing that makes you the person you are today?
Well, the thing is, deciding to develop a career give me the understanding of being an entrepreneur, as people call it right now, right? You have to develop by yourself, and you have to find the way, and you have to analyze what you have in front of you. This is what it brings to decide to be a tango dancer, to be independent. Then teaching particularly helped me to be more empathic with people. Because maybe, I don't know if this happens in other dances, but in tango you have different kinds of students, and not everyone, almost no one wants to compete. Most of the people don't want to be professional. So basically what you see is like daily life people, like normal people, like they are not dancers, but they just choose tango for different reasons of their life. So in a moment I realized that I had to understand from where do they came, and then reorganize my way of teaching in relation with what they can do. No.
Okay.
So this give me kind of a view on it's a bit more therapy, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, it give me I see someone and I can analyze a little bit more or less, right? I mean, without going to
become more flexible, and you continue your psychological training in a way,
kind of,
like you said.
Kind of, but basically to be more empathic with people. Not so judgment and things like this. On the same direction, traveling gives me the chance to see people living in different conditions, and this is very, very interesting to understand social things, right? And the world in a more complex way. Really, tango really bring me to places where I never imagined I would be. Things that if you're in Argentina, you just see it in the television, right? And then I was like, French Guiana is a very particular place for many reasons. I was also in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, and then in Switzerland, and then in US. It was a very different kind of understanding life. No, and because of my background with philosophy, I don't know. I have the feeling that helped me to analyze a little bit more deeper.
Okay. And I really like what you said earlier, also, because I think I personally relate to that when you arrive in Europe and you realize how much you like your city.
Yeah.
I lived abroad I've been abroad for 10 years, and I always call home the place I haven't been for a third of my life, because they always say the grass is greener on the other side. I think once you're there, you realize that your grass was quite green anyway.
Yeah, what I think is, in my case, it's helped me to give value to things that most of the time the people complain here, but also it doesn't mean that this is best. It's not about what is best. It's just what is different, right? Because it's very easy to, for example, for me being Argentinian, I can complain about things. We can always complain, but I can find very big difference with people from Europe. And in the beginning, I crashed with that, and then I realized that they were just different. There are many, many amazing good things there, and it will be very good if they are if they are more developed here, and for example, in South America. And there are many good things in South America that it will be better if they're more developed in
Europe,
for example. No, just to say something. So I just was able to read more what's going on. Okay, this is cool from my city. This is not that cool from my city. And in the same thing in the other way around.
Excellent. And that sums it up quite well.
Pleasure, my friend.
Just one last thing I'd like to finish with. It's a quick fire round of questions with you. 10 questions. Let's try to make as fast as we can. Right. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
And here we go. Question number 1. Ballroom or Latin?
Latin, I guess.
Mountain or beach?
Beach, always.
That's for surfing, of course. Tango milonga or de milonga?
Milonga, the place. Yes, of course. In the place you can do everything.
Okay. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix. I hate it, but that's what I choose.
Okay. Cycling or polo?
Cycling.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Argentina or Italy?
Argentina.
If you have to give up one, you give up yerba mate or chimichurri?
Chimichurri, that's not my thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Mate forever.
Okay, mate forever. Yeah, I saw that everywhere. Ross or Rachel?
Ross.
And last question, your best day ever? When was it?
My best day ever?
Yeah, the hard thing. 3, 2, 1.
When I found tango.
There you go. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Best answer.
That was an amazing moment.
Okay, cool. Well, then that sums it up. Thank you very much, Mario. We'll finish up with just a bit of promotion. So if we want to follow you, how can we get in touch?
Well, I have my performance and some online lessons already in YouTube, Mario de Camilis, Tango. You will see my channel there. And the same way you can find me in Instagram. And then I have a webpage, which is not that update at the moment, but I'm working on it, which is mariodecamilis.com. So yeah, and in Facebook as well. Yeah, you will find me everywhere. I'm floating there virtually. Excellent. A lot.
Well, we'll put all the links in the description as well, so people can't miss it really.
Very nice.
Well, Mario, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for staying with me for this evening, and hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.
Thank you, my friend. It was a pleasure for me too. Thank you so much for asking me. I really like to talk about my experience, so I like it a lot. Thank you.
Anytime. Well, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.